G'day and welcome to another massive edition of the BFNL Footy Show. Thanks to our friends at McDonald's. I'm joined by Tara Murray from the Star Weekly after a cracking round last weekend. We've only got a handful of games this week, and this will be interesting to see how they all pan out.
It is. It's the first week of three teams having a bye. So this week we've got Sunbury, Bacchus Marsh and Lake Windermere have all got the week off. So they all do get the 4 points, which is important in that scheme of things in the run home, because all three of those sides are fighting for final spots. But we do have some cracker games of, especially probably Melton, Sebastopol is probably the biggest one. And then you've also got the local Ballarat Derby between North Ballarat City and Ballarat.
And of course there is a special theme behind this weekend. It's Love the Game, not the odds. So there's going to be plenty of promotion right across all the grounds, right across this weekend, which is fantastic. Great message from not only the local government but also the Victorian government, and sort of getting behind the, I guess, discouraging the gambling, just more or less loving the game and not the odds in itself, which I think is an important message, particularly for young people.
Exactly. It's about having fun at the game. Yes, some people do enjoy a bet here and there, but it shouldn't be the be-all of end-all of local sport. It should be about what's happening on the ground and then having fun with the people at the club afterwards.
Absolutely, and great to see AFL Victoria get right behind this one. We'll talk up at East Point and Melton South. This is going to be an important game, given the South's form over the last few weeks hasn't been too bad.
Look, obviously I think it's top versus bottom, so you do say that. Obviously Melton South we have seen a little bit inconsistent, which we've seen all season from them. They have been probably a little bit better in the back half of the season than they were that first half, but I think, look, we've all seen what East Point's done recently, and I think they're going to be way too strong. Yeah,
you're right. But I think what we're going to get from this game, and it's sort of fitting with these two sides, is that when you play Melton South, you're going to get a highly entertaining game, and with East Point you're going to get the same as well. So I reckon, I think, weather permitting, we'll probably see quite a few goals kicked in this match.
Look, it is, and I think for Melton South, whether they've got Dylan Conway is a massive one for them. Obviously he's probably been their main goal kicker when he has been available for them, but if he's got VFL commitments, that's a big loss for them. Obviously another one with VFL could be Lockie Watkins, who's been a star for Melton South as well. So it's going to sort of depend on who they've got at the lineup. At times they have struggled a little bit up forward, because obviously they've only had Fev for one game this year, and they sort of penciled him in at full forward, and they haven't had him. So look, I think East Point's going to have too many different options up forward, and we have seen at times that Melton South has struggled a little bit down back. They're probably one key defender short. So look, I think it would probably be a pretty one-sided match to East Point.
Melton play host to Sebastopol in probably one of the most crucial, well, it is the most crucial game this weekend.
It is. Look, both of these teams are on 36 points. You've got them sitting 5th and 6th at the moment, and they've both got interesting runs home, where you've got Melton's got Sebastopol, Ballarat, Sunbury and Bacchus, and Sebastopol has Melton, East Point, Bacchus and Melton South. So they've got a lot of games against those sides also fighting for finals contention. You've got Melton coming off the bye, and they had a good win the week before. I think it was against Melton South in the local rivalry, where Sebastopol is also coming off a good win. So I think it'll be a pretty interesting one. I think being at home, I think I'll go for the Bloods, and look, they're looking, probably the last few years we've seen them around the mixed two-play finals and they've just missed out. So it'll be interesting whether they can get this win and keep their spot inside the top 6 as they look to break that finals hoodoo.
I think the pressure will be on them a little bit as well, given the Sebastopol they're coming and they've got a little bit of they've got a lot of motivation behind them. I think if Sebastopol win this, then it really changes the context of the season for a number of teams.
It is, and probably a lot of people, obviously Sebastopol is coming, but I think a lot of people still don't see them as a finals team, where people are talking up Melton as a finals team, and I think that's the difference between the two sides. There's a little bit more expectations on Melton than there is Sebastopol, and if Sebastopol was to get over the line, I think it'd be a little bit of an upset, and as you said, it will change sort of perceptions of where people are, where these two teams are at, and whether they can play finals or not.
Exactly. I think it'll affect the potential results of other games as well, given that it will go down to the wire. Redan and Darley, we know Redan have been in some good form. They let their guard down a little bit on the weekend, but Darley are just flying. I think they're getting back to some of that 2017 premiership form.
Exactly, and we both saw Darley on the weekend, and they were absolutely brilliant, and against Sunbury Lions should have won by a lot more. So look, I think Darley's fine. Their only loss in the last five games is they've only had one, and that was against East Point, which was a pretty disappointing result there, and they've acknowledged that, but they've come out firing since then, and I think there'll be another big win for them.
The game I'm looking forward to getting along to is North Ballarat City and Ballarat.
Look, you got the local derbies here, so look, on ladder positions alone you go North Ballarat City, but we've all seen in these derbies that anything can happen. That it's not always straightforward, and because there is a lot of, they do want to beat each other. So look, I think North Ballarat has a lot more to play for. Obviously, they're in that mix for a final spot, so I think they'll get over the line, but I reckon it'll be a tight contest.
Yeah, I think so too. It's particularly given that Melton South, for argument's sake, did take the game up to City on the weekend, and Ballarat, I think, in terms of the context of the season, have been better performers than South. So I think this would be fascinating to see how Ballarat come out. They did kick one of their highest scores of the season. If they can continue to hit that mark, I think they have one of their star players kick the bag on the weekend. If he gets back forward and kicks another 3 or 4, maybe even 5 goals, puts the pressure on City. You just don't know what can happen.
Exactly, and we have seen City at times a little bit up and down this season. So they were flying early on, and then they dropped a few matches in the middle. They've sort of found a little bit more form recently, so it'll be quite interesting. But I think North Ballarat will get up. Yeah,
the way that things are unfolding, I think that the City's win over Bacchus Smash could be the one that sort of keeps them in that. I mean, we talk about scalps. That's the one that sort of turned the tide, and that was a win against all the odds as well, given the form of City at the time.
Exactly, and probably the form of Bacchus Marsh at the time. So they had played some really good football, and at times looked like the team that did make the grand final last year and won a premiership the year before that. So it'll be quite interesting. I think, North Ballarat will get up. And
just looking ahead, just to one particular game, we've got the Sunbury Lions and we've got Bacchus Smash. Both teams have been out of form. Both got the bye this weekend, but skipping ahead to the next round, they both play each other, and that is going to be one heck of a match.
It is, and I saw these two teams play last time actually. So that was up at Bacchus Marsh, and for 3 quarters it looked like Bacchus Marsh was going to get the win before Sunbury came out in that last quarter, had nothing to lose, just threw it all out there, and it looked like they were going to get pretty close. They did in the end. They didn't quite get over the line, so that's going to be quite interesting. Neither side's in great form. It's playing at Clark Over, where Sunbury Lions haven't lost this year and have had some brilliant form. That looks like a really, really juicy match in a couple of weeks' time. Yeah,
it certainly is. So both teams will take the most out of the bye while they can. Tara, thanks so much for jumping in as a super sub for this week, and we look forward to hopefully catching up with you again soon.
Thanks for having me.